arrived at Model Railways Unlimited.
Welcome to part 3 in the series of the BTC early diesel locos. This time I have a rather iconic locomotive to share with you, but first, the yard is very busy, with trains waiting to depart. First up from the last video we have the BTC Type 1 or Class 15 with a coal train. Closely following the 15 is the Class 16 with a short mixed merchandise train. Finally the tracks are clear, the yard starting signal clears, and twin Paxman engines can be heard moving towards us. Here is the Class 17, maybe better known as a Clayton, with a substantial livestock train in tow. Halden's model initially followed a very prototypical path, with the first batch of models grinding to a smoky halt. To their credit, Halden issued brand new chassis for those that wanted to replace the defective one in their models, or a free returns and repair service. Mine has one of the new chassis. It arrived with me in May 2009 and the repair was done in June that year. For me, the model still has a few issues. It's very fiddly to open, requiring the buffers to be removed. The instructions tell you to pull off the cab, which is not necessary and leaves the model with an ugly sag between the chassis and the cab if done. I had to glue mine down. However, the model is well detailed and very lovely to see. With a bit of care it can put in a great performance, as we can see. Fortunately, one Clayton D8568 was preserved, having been sold to the Ribble Cement Works. She can still be seen in action today. Introduced between 1962 and 65, built by Clayton and Bayer Peacock, the locos weighed in at 68 tonnes, had a maximum speed of 60 miles per hour, the same as the Class 15s and 16s. The two engines were Paxman 6Z HXLs in locos D8500 to D8585 and in D8588 to D8616. In D8586 and 87 were Rolls-Royce Type D engines that did prove to be better. Total horsepower was 900, tractive effort was a respectable £40,000. Ordered as a successor to the pilot scheme Type 1s, they were probably the least successful of all the types. They had been intended to be the standard Type 1. BR had felt that the centre cab would allow them to move away from double manning. However, ASLEF, the train drivers' union, was not going to agree to staff cuts. Everyone agreed that the all-round visibility was very good, and after some protracted negotiations the locos were adopted. While the Claytons were mainly used on freight, they did work on passenger trains, although not in the winter as they had no heating. Here our loco is busy with a rake of plums and custard coaches that have managed to escape repainting. The Paxman engines fitted to the bulk of the fleet were dreadfully unreliable and suffered many failures. The engines had been used for diesel railcars where they had been a success. The first 88 locos were all intended for use in Scotland and were fitted with single-line token exchange equipment on the cab sides. And now, on a long Shell and BP tank wagon train, our loco snakes through the crossover towards us. That was lovely. Let's see it again from a slightly different angle. During late 1961, a further order of 29 locomotives was awarded to Bayer Peacock, with delivery starting in 1964. This batch of locomotives proved far more successful than the earlier Clayton-built ones. However, reliability was still not good enough for the BTC, at around 60%. BR therefore invested in further Class 20s, and the Class 17s were scheduled for early withdrawal. Most were phased out during the late 60s, with the whole class gone from mainline service in 1971. And so we come to the end of another video. Our train slowly draws into the yard. Stay tuned for more very soon. Bye for now.